The pain of not doing something has to be greater than the pain of doing something if you want to be more consistent.
You have to back yourself into a corner sometimes, put your back up against the wall if you want to find the courage within yourself to drive forward. Not always, but sometimes.
Next Level Nation today for episode number 2159. Sometimes you have to manufacture necessity. I've been messing up, not going to the gym. I've been sleeping well, which has been nice. Very rarely do I just hear or feel my alarm go off because my watch vibrates and then just say, nah, that's not it. I'm going to go back to bed. I've done that too much recently. And when I say too much, I mean like maybe 5 days, but it's been 5 days too much. So today, woke up, let myself down, felt like I disappointed myself. I went into our Next Level Fitness Accountability group in WhatsApp, and I said, hey, I haven't been showing up in here. I've been jeffing. I haven't been showing up for myself. I've been jeffing.
Can we read it verbatim?
Yeah, we can read it.
Thank
you have it up?
I think it's, I don't. I think it's awesome to do that. I like sharing the behind the scenes stuff because.
Let me find this thing.
We didn't plan on doing this episode.
No, this episode happened today.
Exactly. So I woke up to this message as well, and I said some stuff to it too. I said, good for you, man. Here we go.
Today at, I don't know what time it was, your boy has been messing up in the fitness world. I've been sleeping like shit, so I've been trying to prioritize sleep, which has been great and also terrible for making it to the gym. We are going to be back in full force tomorrow, though. A lot of love. Got a lot of love on that. I appreciate you all so very much. Then, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, I went back and I said, for everyone's awareness, the reason I said I will be back in full force is because I needed to say it publicly for the extra accountability. And Alan said something, and I said, I appreciate it, brother.
I said, appreciate the ownership, Kev. That's how we do it at NLU, man. I made up the man part. We own it when we're not living up to our potential and take corrective action. Appreciate you leading by example in that. And then I thought I said, maybe this was in my head, but I thought I said that's the point of this group.
No, you said it later.
Exactly what this group is for. Hashtag better together. That's exactly the point. That's why we started the fucking group.
But I understand. So this is the hard part for a lot of people. Oftentimes, we don't want to back ourselves into a corner. This is like the best thing ever of all time. Alan taught me about commitment devices. I'm sure you learned about them somewhere. And I've said this on shows before. Let's say you want to go, I want to go to the gym 5 days in a row. Awesome. Cool. What is something that you are like just against? Are you against lung cancer from smoking? Yeah, of course I'm against lung cancer from smoking. Somebody in my family died because of lung cancer. Sorry to hear that. And if you do not go to the gym 5 days in a row, you have to donate $500 to fucking Philip Morris. You got to go invest $500 in Philip Morris stock. You're going to go to the gym. But I know a lot of people are like, that's a lot of pressure. That's the point. That's the point. There has to be some level of pressure. That's how you know. Yeah. That's how you know it's going to work. Good.
Two things. One, shout out to a client. You know who you are. We did a commitment device because there's certain clients that I sell 12-week packages to. And I don't do that out of the gate until we know it's aligned. We've worked together for years. Sold a 12-week package. I said, brother, if you don't get above a 90%, do I have permission, commitment device, to dock you a session? And he said, yep. And he wanted this.
90% PPT?
Yeah. Total productive output. Yeah. 90% of his habits his habits. 3 days later, between now and the next time we talk, we do 3 times a week. 3 days later, he's like, dude, it's at 88% on his tracker. I said, brother, talk to me. He's like, it's up to you. I said, no, it's up to you. Tell me what happened. He's like, you got to dock me. I said, first of all, good for you for not lying. I think there's a large percentage of human beings that would lie. That's a certain amount of money that he just lost. I said, integrity. He's like, well, I'm worried I let you down. No chance. I think more of you. I think so much more of you for not lying about it. Docked him a session, and the commitment device doesn't work if you don't follow through on it. The $100 habit you've talked about, having Taryn rip up a $100 bill in front of you. She didn't want to do it. You can tell that story in a second. the real conversation I want to have, and I did pull up High Performance Habits because it's a book by Brendan Burchard. I recommend it to everyone. It's great. Okay, chapter 3 is raise necessity. I don't think you and I do a good job of explaining certain things. We talk about necessity as if everyone knows what it is, and I'm just as guilty of that as you. Only one who devotes himself to a cause with his whole strength and soul can be a true master, his or her, for the ladies out there. For this reason, mastery demands all of a person. It's an Albert Einstein quote. Raise necessity. Necessity is putting your back up against some sort of wall. Putting yourself in the pressure cooker is what we used to call it. So, real conversation, you and me. Why the fuck do people think they can achieve things without pressure? I suck at a lot of stuff, okay? I'm not perfect. I have never, ever set a fucking goal and not expected it to be atrociously bad.
I don't know that people don't think they need pressure. If you haven't set that many goals and if you haven't journeyed to accomplish that goal, you don't know what kind of pressure to expect. That.
The expectation is off and off, is what I've found.
For sure. But I think the expectation is off.
People come to me, I want to be a multimillionaire. Oh, perfect. There's 58 million of them. You got this. Let's do it. And then they're like, oh, this is fucking terrible. You think everyone's just going to be a millionaire? Like, I don't understand. The expectations are so off.
I do think that is probably the biggest reason. I think one of the reasons the expectations are off is because you've just never done it before. Collective you.
What do you think?
I think
becoming a multimillionaire, like, are you going to be shocked that it's fucking terrible?
No, but
okay, why?
Because I've done it for 8 years. I probably didn't think it was going to be as hard as it is.
Why?
Nobody sat me down and said, hey, because I'm not blaming you. This isn't you. But you'll literally say, I was working with a client the other day and they said, I would like to be a millionaire. And you said, we could do that. It wouldn't even be that hard in like 10 years.
Nice.
Easy.
But 10 years, it wouldn't be hard. In 1 year, it's nearly impossible.
What do you mean by it wouldn't be hard? I got to survive this fucking thing for 10 years. That right there, by definition, is hard.
Hard is relative. Okay, fair. But like, the size of the goal determines the level of difficulty.
Was the marathon easier or harder than you thought?
The half marathon was a fucking joke. That was easy as hell.
Okay.
The full marathon was atrociously harder than I thought. Why? But I wasn't in the middle of it going, wow, I can't believe this was hard.
But why was it harder than you thought?
Because this is a bad example. Dude,
I know it's not a good example. I know.
In 95-degree weather on a fucking track that's called the hot box.
Well, your expectations are off.
Yes.
To a degree, right? Again, it's not a good example because
I had an injury but if I had done it fully hydrated, having trained whatsoever, had it not been 95-degree weather,
but I think it's the same. I think it's the same. Those are all circumstances. Now,
high noon? It was
there are
95
circumstances.
degrees out.
I know. I'm just saying those are circumstances. I'm not saying
my years will never be the same.
just like somebody who says I want to be a millionaire. Okay, you got to learn sales. Depending, right? Let's say you're a business owner, you got to learn sales.
Fair.
That's a circumstance. You got to learn money, and you got to live like you're broke essentially the whole time, and then you got to live like you're broke more after you become the millionaire. Just so you know, that's a circumstance, and it's going to be really hard to live life like other people. You're not going to be going on vacation. You're not going to be doing and all of those are circumstances that must be aligned in order to get the goal.
But did you hear me complain about it being hard? I was never complaining about being hard. If anything, I was like, holy shit, that was harder than I thought. I was like excited.
Well, that's a you thing. That's a you thing.
When you and I were going to do a triathlon,
I was drunk. Somebody got me when I was drunk, unfortunately. But yeah, go ahead.
All right, you probably should tell the story. It
was my 30th birthday.
Nice.
And a couple of friends of ours at the time. I very rarely fall into what's the word? Peer pressure. But they're like, we should all do a triathlon together. It'd be awesome. And I was drunk and I was like, fuck yeah, love that. Let's do it. And Alan's like, yeah, I'm in. And then I woke up the next day and I was like, I'm not doing that. That's dumb. That's terrible. It's going to be bad. How long do I have to swim? I don't swim.
Half mile swim.
Not a chance.
14-mile bike.
I'm not worried about the bike. I feel like
5K run. All at once. Swim, bike, run.
I think it's a terrible idea.
Okay, I did it. Kevin backed out.
But I'll tell you why, because my expectations of what it was going to take were beyond. I thought it was going to suck.
But everything does. Like, okay, I think it was easier than I thought it was going to be.
That makes sense, though, to me.
Why? The marathon was harder.
But the half marathon was easier.
Yeah, agreed. You're always going to be off on your expectations.
Always.
I know that's not the point of this episode. What is the point of this episode, to bring it back? Everything will be harder or easier than you think. Everything. Forever. No one's accurate. Yes. No one's like, oh, that is exactly what I thought it would be. No one ever said that. And if they did, they're lying. Oh, going to the moon. Wow, that was a little different than we expected. That's why so many rockets blow up and all kinds of horrible things happen. So, necessity, bringing this back. The pressure. The pressure you are under is predicated on the size of the goal you set. I all the time, people will set goals with me. And then they'll talk to me a month later and go, wow, this is fucking terrible. Yeah, and it's like,
they didn't set the goal. You helped them set the goal. I think that's one of the hard things. You and I have talked about that before. Like, I wouldn't have the goals I have if you weren't in my corner. So my life would be easier, quote unquote, in a lot of ways, but it would also be way worse in 15 years. Next Level Nation, what is happening? If you've thought to yourself, I want to try coaching, but you don't really know where to start, group coaching would be a wonderful place for you. That's really why we created it in the first place. We start a new round every 90 days. So if you're hearing this, go to the website, nextleveluniverse.com, and we have the landing page where you can actually hold your spot right now. Even if there's a group going on right now, you can still lock your spot for the next one. The biggest thing that we've seen is as we get closer and closer to the date, unfortunately, some people end up missing. The group fills up and they can't do it, and then they end up regretting that. So please head over to the website. The link will be in the show notes, and we would love to see you there.
Do you not correlate the goal, the size of the goal, with the pressure? I think of it like a person holding up a boulder. The bigger the boulder, the bigger the goal, the more pressure you're going to be under, but the stronger you're going to get.
Yeah. But if you've never set a really, really, really big goal, you don't necessarily know what it's like to be under really, really, really high pressure. And it's a sliding scale. What is a big goal for someone? That all depends. It all depends on the person. Going back to this whole point, the point of this episode. Too much necessity is bad, potentially. Not enough necessity is bad. Too much necessity of, Kev, if you don't have the best workout you've ever had in your entire life, we're going to take everything you own. It's like, and we're going to take your family, and we're going to take your business, and you're going to live out on an island by yourself. It's like, I don't know, that's kind of fucking heavy. What if I don't have a good workout? That's not good. / Kev, if you don't go to the gym tomorrow, you have to give $1. Okay.
Here's $1.
Here's $1. Thank you. That's not enough.
Instead
That's not
of bad
enough.
and good, let's use constructive and destructive.
Sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like that you and I have these debates live.
Same.
I think this is where all the value is.
I agree.
And
as long as I'm right.
Well, then you're in trouble. No, so I'm a macroscopic thinker. I think in reverse engineering, I'm future oriented. Kevin is a microscopic thinker who is more present. This is good. Everybody will get whatever side of the spectrum they need. You had a fucking awesome post recently. It took a lot in me I was late. When I say late, I was working really late, and Emilia has been tolerating that a lot lately. Nice. I just opened Facebook to go to your post and saw some really cool stuff. Shout out to Mike Reed, my man. We just went on his podcast earlier, and it's already been posted. So what was my point of all this? You did a fire post talking about spectrum and how advice...
Oh, all advice is good and all advice is bad.
Yeah, exactly. So all advice is constructive only if you apply it to your goals, your context, your core values, your strengths and weaknesses. Can you go through that briefly?
I was on a podcast and I was talking about how I said all
Best post
advice.
You've ever done, in my opinion.
I appreciate it, which probably means nobody else liked it, unfortunately. But you
How
win
did it
one.
do?
You
Did it
won.
not do well?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I genuinely have been posting and ghosting lately. It's like, I just want to make this piece of content and then I'm going to go live my life.
I'm sharing it.
I think I got some love. I was on a podcast and we were talking about advice. And I said, this is the problem with hearing a 1 hour podcast episode that's supposed to solve everybody's problems all at once. It physically can't. Right now, you're watching this. There are some of you out there that need to grind harder. I know you don't want me to hear it. I'm sorry. You got to. There are some of you out there who need to fucking slow down and spend time with your family. I know you don't want me to hear me say that. I'm sorry. You got to. And there are a bunch of you in the middle where it's like you could probably put a little bit more conscious effort in, or you could probably put a little bit more intention with being present. And it's just a spectrum. There are some of you out there that could probably do better with manifesting. There are some of you out there that need to get your head out of the secret and get out into the world and build something meaningful. And everybody else is in between. And I think that's just content in general. I think all content is... But the problem is everybody talks like their way is the way. And again, we're as guilty of that as anybody, but...
I don't agree with it. We're as guilty of that as anybody. How many fucking times do I say, now, this doesn't necessarily apply to you? I feel like we're better at that than anybody. And I think that's actually why we come off as so fucking not confident.
Were we for the first 500 episodes?
Not you. I'm kidding. I probably wasn't either. Let's be real. Everyone should aim high. Yeah, I probably not. I want to hold humility in that. But dude, I've been talking about optimal for a long time. There is no advice that's blanket. There's no blanket advice for anyone.
Well, I think most advice is blanket. It's just not going to actually help you, like they say. I think most advice is put out as blanket advice. I don't think we should receive it as blanket.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean?
I do. I how do you even explain this? This is why I like one-on-one coaching.
100%.
Podcasting's way fucking harder. When I'm one-on-one coaching, I can just go, here's your goal. Yeah. Here's your strengths and weaknesses. Here's your unique core values. Here's your circumstances. I had one client once. I'll share this anonymously. I found out through the grapevine that she had a lot more debt than she had told me. She was ashamed of it. I understand. I'm not making it wrong. But I went to Kev and I said, everything I told her was wrong then. I optimize everything based on circumstance. If you have $1 million in the bank account right now, everything you do and don't do should change immediately. Because, well, then you should get a new phone and you should probably get new microphones and everything is based on circumstance. We're not, maybe that's unique to me, I don't know. But when you're reverse engineering a goal, it's predicated on circumstances. Where I lived 7 years ago was optimal at the time. And then it became unoptimal once I had the resources to live somewhere better. Optimal is predicated on a goal. And I think that to bring us back to necessity, the bigger the goal, the more necessity. And that's going to be destructive or constructive based on your own ability to physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually handle that.
And sometimes going to wrap it all in a bow, you have to manufacture it. And that was my goal by posting in the Next Level Fitness Accountability Group. That was my goal. And here's the other thing. Last time, I'll tell this story quick and then we'll get out of here. Last time I was fucking up at the gym and I was like, I just can't, it just doesn't seem to matter enough. It just doesn't seem to matter enough. And at that point I was very much in my like, I want to rebuild my relationship with money phase. And I'm still in that phase. But I had a $100 bill on my desk. And it was like, Kev, money, focus on money, build your relationship with money, rebuild your relationship with money. And I went to Taryn and I said, hey, I need a favor. And she said, what do you need? And I said, I need you to help me with something. She said, what do you need? I pulled out the $100 bill and I said, hold this. She said, yeah, okay. I said, if I do not go to the gym for the next 7 days in a row, I need you to rip that up in front of me. And she's like, there's no fucking chance I'm going to do that. And I said, babe, it's done in my mind. I just needed to have the courage to back myself into a corner. It's not even about the money. I've done dumber shit with $100 than that, for sure. I don't want to let my wife down. I don't want
dumber shit than ripping it up.
Buying shots for people you don't know is pretty fucking stupid. Yeah. I mean, at least if you rip it up, you can tape it back together. If you spend it on people you don't know, that money's gone forever, unfortunately. Yeah. I ended up going to the gym 7 days in a row. I got the money back. It worked so well. It was great. It worked really, really well.
$100 habit, man. I think that's one of the best things I've ever done. That video plus the $100 habit, I think that should be a fucking thing. I think that should be an NLU thing.
I don't know how to make it yet.
Everybody in our community, we put together a thing, just like the 10-pound in 10-week challenge, and we say, okay, what's your goal for the end of the quarter? Maybe we do this in Q4.
Okay.
And everybody agrees to rip up a $100 bill on camera or something. If they don't do it.
It might not be 100 because I know there's different levels of,
Well, and it's not the $100 habit, baby.
I know. You know, if you live somewhere else, $100 is
real quick though.
We got to go.
Problem. I know we got to go. This is the problem.
Yeah.
It's really hard to rip up the $100 when you could give it to somebody. You give it to charity, but here's the problem: if you give it to charity, you're going to feel good about it.
Right. You got to feel bad. So
it doesn't work. You got to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So commitment devices are a fucking whole thing. So we'll think about it, but I do think it's fire. $100 habit is one of the coolest things you've ever come up with, in my opinion. Genuinely.
I appreciate it. I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. We just got to figure out the logistics. We just got to figure out the logistics. All right, we're going to figure out the logistics. We will keep you all in. Is that going to be in a special group? $100 habit group?
I don't know, man.
I'm overwhelmed.
Maybe
now you've properly overwhelmed me.
We have Next Level Nation. We could do it Next Level Nation. And everybody set a goal and then comment your goal. And then an end date.
It's not private enough.
It's not supposed to be private, man.
No, I know, but we're asking. I know, but we're asking. We're asking for. It's the $100 habit that's going to move the needle. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. All right, cool. Meetup was last week. Next Level Nation, as Alan alluded to, private Facebook group where people are all focused on getting to the next level. And since we talked about it so much, we have a fitness accountability group in WhatsApp. It's totally free. It's just to help people stay consistent, committed, and get to the next level in their fitness journey. And your journey is not the same as Alan's. It's not the same as mine. You do your own thing. You don't have to live up to our standards. You have to live up to your own standards. That is the goal. Go ahead, quick. We have people in there doing Pilates. We got people doing yoga. We got people doing walking, weight training, you name it. So I just want to share that. It's not just bodybuilding. Just because Kevin and I are intense weight training doesn't mean that you have to be.
Correct. Okay, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And if you are as committed as you say you are to getting to the next level, make sure you tune in tomorrow because we're going to be here every single freaking day to help you get there.
Keep reaching for your full potential. Next Level Nation.